I've just changed the mat for one I had with an actual grid drawn on it. It might just be easier to visualise what's going on. I'm using deserty troops because once again they might just be easier to see and know what's happening. Here are the squares. A PBI table would have 64 squares, just like a chessboard. 8 squares by 8 squares. Now scenery is depicted by using a method of templates. So for example, you might put down some trees in these 2 squares. And that means these 2 squares are wooded, or they've got trees in them. What we often tend to do is put a template down. So just for clarity, there's a template there. It's occupying 2 squares. And the tree models can go on top. There they are. And then as your soldiers move through it, here's some soldiers. You can move the models around to make space for your soldiers. So the trees or buildings, whatever they are, they just mark what sort of template it is. There's various scenery allowed in it. It's all fairly generic. There's wooded templates. There we go, some nice palm trees. There's marsh or rough going templates. These ones provide no cover whatsoever. So it could be marsh, rocky ground, just something unpleasant that slows people up. There we go. The next type is a building template. There we are. Now once again I'll put some desert buildings on it. The buildings can be moved around to allow the figures to manoeuvre. The good thing about PBI though is that because the ranges aren't strict but they're gridded, if your soldier looks good positioned there, then that's fine. He doesn't have to be balanced on a roof so he gets the exact range and whatever. So your soldiers can be positioned so that realistic, like so. If they move to the other square, then I move the soldiers across to there. I might even move the buildings around a little bit. There we go. I move them there. So when your troops move, they move from square to square to square. That's the scenery. Or there's other types of scenery as well. Let's move that to one side. There are gentle hills. It's got some elevation to it. You can see it's a gentle hill. It gives no, you can't see over buildings and such with it because they're only small areas. It's only 60 metres across. They're rough hills. There we go. It's got a bit of something on it. So it's a rough hill. And there are, of course, things such as roads. There's a nice road. Now, one of the interesting things about PBI is their rules on placing scenery. Now, buildings must be nailed down to the roads. So there we go. There's a building template with a road travelling across it. Get the idea. But all other scenery is not allowed to overlap roads. This is because in reality, you don't tend to build a road over a hill if there's some flat ground nearby. You don't tend to build a road through a marsh, well some people might. You don't through a marsh if there's some normal ground nearby. You wouldn't build a road straight through a small bit of woodland. Either woodland would be taken away or the woodland would be somewhere nearby. Roads tend to link settlements. It goes from building to building to building. That's how roads work. Because roads are a communication method. They're not just a way of seeing the countryside, unless you're somewhere very decorative. And that's how roads work in this. Remember, it's only a small table, 8 by 8. Gives you depth and width. It's only the frontage that a company would operate on.